Hey sex lovers, welcome back. This is your sexologist, Aloe Leaves, and this is Sex with Share. On today's video, let's keep the vagina really tight. Okay guys, have you ever heard of the term loose vagina, slack vagina, or not really feeling comfortable with your vagina, or maybe wanting to have a really tighter vagina? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. But in this case, this is a really personal video because what I'm going to do today is share my personal tips with you of how I keep my vagina really tight. These are my personal tips. These recommendations are based on how I manage my vagina, on the techniques and the things that I do to keep my vagina tight and keep it healthy. But there's one thing I would really like to say before getting started with this, and it's the fact that there's a really big myth about vagina loosening. And actually, it comes down to the point that a lot of people think that the loosening of vagina is based on the amount of sex or penetration the woman's had before. But that's not really true. Actually, it doesn't matter how much penetration that woman had or how much sex she had before or during her life. It's not going to affect the way her vagina is tight or loose. Actually, the real causes of having a loose vagina are based on totally different things. For example, like your age. When a woman is growing older and she had the same basic routine her whole life, it may be influencing to have loosening not only in her vagina but in the rest of her body. Based on the elasticity that a woman has in her skin, that can affect the internal walls of your vagina as well, so it doesn't have anything to do with excessive penetration or sex. Another really important fact is also having multiple childbirth. When you give birth to multiple children, like for example more than 3 or 4, it can be influencing to a loosening in your vagina also. Because even though biologically we're designed for regeneration and the vagina is not an exception, it can happen that the body takes more than the time that we are really used to assimilating to get back to its original texture. So if you have one childbirth and like 2 or 3 years later you have another childbirth, or even before, and you have that consecutive order of giving birth to your children, it can be a fact that can make you lose firmness in your vagina. So that could be a really another important cause. And of course, not being used to following an exercise routine with your vagina is also a big cause for having loosening in your vagina. But let's get down to the real reason that I'm here with you today, and it's to share my personal tips with you of how I keep my vagina really tight, also really fresh, and I would say pretty. Well, I think vaginas are pretty, so if you think the same thing or if you agree with me, please leave your comments below. Okay, my first tip is constantly practicing your Kegels. Well, Kegels are specific vaginal muscle exercises that are designed to keep your pelvic floor muscles really tight, really firm, and feeling good. So that's one of my most important tips, and that's why I'm going to put it first, because it has to start from there. And following up, whatever comes next, it's only going to be in addition to that really important fact that you have to keep your exercise going. And your vagina is not an exception. Well, as for exercise, I'm not really good at exercise. I don't do daily exercise routine. But when it comes to my vagina, I really keep my Kegels going. And for tip number 2, I don't use any chemical substances that contain alcohol, specifically for the vagina, and this includes vaginal douches. When you alter your vaginal pH balance with chemical substances, even more with chemical substances that have alcohol, this could be a really big negative effect for your vagina tightening, because your vaginal wall are being covered by a lot of microorganisms that protects these muscles. And if they're destroyed by these chemical substances, then that's a really bad news for you. And for tip number 3, we're going really natural, even more natural now. When I get through with my bath routine daily, I like to use fresh lemons that I previously leave sitting around in fresh water, that when I'm through with my daily bath, then I use that water on my vagina. I mean, to just basically go through a last minute cleansing routine specifically for my vagina, and it makes me feel really fresh. And besides, the natural citric acid from the lemons are really good for that, because besides keeping your pH balance really nice, it's also good for not losing all of those microorganisms that are in charge of keeping the vagina tight also. For tip number 4, practically the same thing that I've mentioned before with the lemons, only in this case they are fresh mint leaves. If you have any access to organic plants or specifically mint leaves, this is a very good substitute also, because it has really nice properties to keep you fresh, and it's not going to alter in any way the microorganisms that are in charge of keeping your balance really good and really going. So if you use mint leaf on your vagina with fresh water, it's also going to give you a big plus on keeping a healthy, tight, and nice vagina. And my following tip is actually still really similar. Only in this case, we're using aloe leaves. Aloe plants has a lot of natural properties that are not only good for your skin, they're good for your internal organisms as well. So including this in your cleansing routine or your post-bath freshening up routine for your vagina is absolutely great. It has no odor, but the benefits are really remarkable. And finally, as one of my really personal tips, which I love really a lot, I hope you enjoy it as well. It's really fresh, it's really nice, and it's still 100% organic. When I'm dedicating a day of relaxation or maybe a self-spa at home in the bathroom, taking a cucumber with you to the bathroom is a really great plus. I mean, don't get me wrong there, the cucumber is not for that. It's for a whole different thing. Actually, you notice when you have really tired eyes and you put cucumbers on your eyes or on your face to relax, and tightening up the skin around your eyes and making it feel really fresh, well, you could do the same thing with your vagina. Taking a few slices of cucumber to the bathroom or to your spa day or relaxation moment or your self routine, using that is also really good for the external tissue of your vagina and keeping it healthy and really tight, because it helps you to regenerate all of the cells in charge of that area of keeping the skin really soft, smooth, and supple. So guys, these are my personal tips for you about how to keep your vagina tight. Well, that's how I do my vagina. It's my personal opinion. Remember, I don't intend to change your beliefs or your opinions about how to keep your vagina tight, but these has worked really good for me, so I hope they do the same for you. As for now, guys, I hope you have a really good time with this video. I hope it's been a lot of help to you. If you have any opinion, please don't hesitate and leave your comments below. Of course, don't forget to visit the video description to find out more about my website and my social networks. Please don't forget to subscribe here to your channel, Charissa Rodriguez. You can also find me on Twitter and Instagram as SexologaShare. Using my hashtag SexWithShare is also really great because you can interact with my daily posts on those social networks. As for now, guys, I hope you have a lot of fun, and I'll see you again really soon with a really interesting subject. See you guys soon. Bye-bye. So, does your vagina smell? Why does your vagina smell? Well, a lot of ladies out there maybe had this issue already about. I hope you're doing really great today. On today's video, what is your opinion about anal rimming or the black kiss?